Have you ever thought about opening your own mobile cart or kiosk business? Maybe the facility you manage could establish new revenue by adding coffee, food, or retail services. Cart King International can be the answer to your needs. Cart King is a North American designer and manufacturer of the finest mobile coffee, food, and retail carts and kiosks. Cart King has been working with clients and corporations across North America for 20 years, providing innovative designs, custom manufacturing, and timely delivery. Carts and kiosks are fun, and so are the dozens of designs on our website. Please visit us today at www.cart-king.com or just call us at 1-877-986-7771 and get your sales rolling.
If you find yourself in need of legal representation, it can be a very stressful time in your life. In my career, I have dealt with thousands of lawyers, I've dealt with thousands of law firms, and I can confidently recommend to you Keith M. Davidson at kmdlaw.com. Available 24 hours, 7 days a week. Just log into kmdlaw.com. That's kmdlaw.com. Or you can call toll-free 833-4KMD-LAW. That's 833-4KMD-LAW. Personal injury, wrongful death, STDs, sexual assault, car accidents. They handle it all efficiently and professionally. It doesn't matter how imposing the opposition may be, because the team at kmdlaw.com are battle-tested and fierce. They will not stop until justice prevails. Go to kmdlaw.com or call toll-free 833-4KMD-LAW. If you're in for the fight of your life, stop screwing around and contact KMD Law. PureSoapFlakes.com, 218-568-2525. Have you ever heard of Castile Soap? Pure Soap Flake Company handcrafts fine soap bars, laundry powder, and concentrated soap flakes using organic vegetable oils from their northern Minnesota facility. Bathe your body and wash your clothes with Pure Soap products that are free of fragrance, GMOs, palm oil, sodium lauryl sulfate, and synthetic additives. Keep it clean, folks. Pure Soap Flake Company products are kind to living creatures and sensitive skin, safe for drains and waterways, and work great in high-efficiency washers and top and front-loading machines. They have a little promotion going on. Contact them to order some soap. Mention the Opperman Report. You're going to get a free gift. They're going to send a little extra soap, travel size, soap bars and laundry soap, cleaning soap flakes. I've been using that stuff all day long today. Great stuff. Order today at puresoapflakes.com or give them a call, 218-568-2525, 218-568-2525. Pure Soap Flake Company is a proud member of the Handcrafted Soap and Cosmetic Guild. Aquadam.net. Give them a call at 707-764-2119. A flooded home is never easy to deal with. You're left with the mess to clean up, having to deal with the insurance company, not to mention the memories that are lost that you can never replace. To those who live in flood-prone and hurricane-prone areas, which is just around the corner, prepare now. Hurricane season is right around the corner. Visit Aquadam.net to see how they can help you prepare to avoid flood damage this season and every season thereafter. An Aquadam could be another tool in your arsenal to protect your home and property from the floodwaters. A cofferdam, using water to control water, that can protect your home, your business, your church, your neighborhood, like a dam, but without the beavers. Give Aquadam a call at 707-764-2119, 707-764-2119, or look them up online at aquadam.net. They're also on Facebook at Aquadam Inc., or call or email them today. They can help you out. Give them a call. Tell them Opperman Report sent you. Opperman Report, that's 10% off the price to anyone who mentions the Opperman Report.
It's the Opperman Report. Join digital forensic investigator and PI Ed Opperman for an in-depth discussion of conspiracy theories, strategy of New World Order resistance, high-profile court cases in the news, and interviews with expert guests and authors on these topics and more. It's the Opperman Report. And now, here is investigator Ed Opperman.
Go. Okay, welcome to the Opperman Report. I'm your host, private investigator Ed Opperman. You can find me at Opperman Investigations and Digital Forensic Consulting. If you like today's show, go to OppermanReport.com. We have a special members section with exclusive shows, exclusive content, videos, documents, all kinds of great stuff there at OppermanReport.com. And our archives are free. You can always catch our archives for free at Spreaker.com. The Opperman Report at Spreaker.com, Spreaker.com. Okay. Fascinating guest today. We have with us today Ann Penn, and you can find her blog at annpenn.wordpress.com. She's written a series of books, all related to the same topic. The main one we're talking about today is called What If? The Shocking True Story of Evil, 58 Years of Freedom. What If Golden State Killer Zodiac Solved? And I believe the theory here is that the Zodiac Killer and the Golden State Killer are the same person. Ann Penn, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you.
Hey, thank you so much for coming on such short notice, especially. Tell us about yourself. Who is Ann Penn?
Well, the name Ann Penn, it really is part of my former name, but it is a pen name. And I've written these books because when the first one came out, Murder on His Mind, Serial Killer, the Golden State Killer was still unknown to us. We didn't know where he was. We didn't know who he was. And so I was a little bit nervous about putting a book out talking about him. But I was also trying to help not only myself with my fear, but help the victims of this guy. I was in Sacramento and was there during his attacks, and so I had this gut feeling that he was still there. And so I wrote that book and continued on, and within the next year, he was actually captured. And so, like I said, I started the book series with my pen name because I was afraid he was still there.
And you were telling me off the air that you have a personal involvement in this?
Well, besides being there in Sacramento, I was 19 when I started hearing about him in the news, and he continued attacking Sacramento for the next almost 3 years. So that was a terrifying experience for all young women, all women in general in the area and all over Contra Costa County and, just everywhere. And then within a few years, my grandfather and his wife, we found out that his son, Lyman Smith, and Charlene were murdered and didn't know what happened or who or why. But there was no connection made between the original Night Stalker, which is what he was called then. There was no connection made between the East Area Rapist and the original Night Stalker until about 2000, 2001. So, and then we find out, it was a serial killer. East Area Rapist and the original Night Stalker, same guy, and he was a rapist and a serial killer. And he killed Charlene and Lyman Smith.
And that's this guy, Visalia Ransacker?
The Visalia Ransacker, yeah. He started out once upon a time. First of all, he had a degree in criminal justice, and he became a cop. And he was the Visalia Ransacker in Visalia, California, which is not too far from Exeter, California. And he was actually investigating likely his own crimes because he did burglaries and he was in charge of the burglary task force. So he did that for about 3 years until there was a murder that he dragged the professor's daughter, Professor Claude Snelling, who worked at the College of the Sequoias, and he dragged her out of her house in the middle of the night, and her dad heard all the commotion and came out, and he was gunned down by this perpetrator and left Beth there and took off. And they set up a sting to try to find him, try to figure it out, and they actually did run across him. Detective McGowan ran across him on September 11th, 1975. And so he ended up shooting at this officer to get away, kind of did a ruse where he was going to surrender, and then he didn't, and shot at him and got away. But there was a great composite drawn at the time. And, again, it was 1975. And there were murders in that area that were never connected to the Visalia Ransacker until 1975. There were previous murders.
You say they set up a little sting operation? What was that?
They did. One of the detectives sat in a garage in the dark in that same neighborhood, same area, because they expected him to return, the Visalia Ransacker, and because he'd murdered Claude Snelling, in their opinion. So they set up the sting, and there he was, and they ran into him on the street and told him to stop, and he did. But he didn't have a mask on. It was dark, and they, Officer McGowan asked him to surrender, and he acted like he was going to, and then he pulled a gun and shot and hit the flashlight of the detective, and he ran off. The detective got glass from the flashlight in his eye, so he got away.
Fascinating.
So,
No.
Yeah, and the next year he went ahead and transferred to Auburn Police Department.
So they never put it together that he was a cop?
Not then, no, for some reason. And so he transferred to Auburn Police Department in 1976, I believe it was. And it was May 1976, and within a few months we were hearing about the East Area Rapist. East Area Rapist would come into the East Sacramento area most of the time, really early morning, between probably about midnight and 4 o'clock in the morning, and he was raping women all over Sacramento. There were about 33 rapes in Sacramento over the course of a 3-year period. And he also was raping in, Concord and Stockton and Modesto. I mean, he liked to drive.
Now, during this period of time when he was bouncing around from different police departments, were there any civilian complaints against him?
Were there any what?
Civilian complaints.
Yeah, of course. I mean, as far as when he was a police a cop up in Auburn?
Yeah.
Not that I know of. I don't know in depth. The reports are available to the public now after all this time. But the thing that I was told by the chief in Auburn at the time I did talk to him was that people didn't see anything weird about him except that he invaded your personal space too much, like he would put his hand on your arm or, talk to you, get too close to you. And so those were things that people would say, those are the only kinds of things that they complained about at the time.
Like Joe Biden. Yeah, any connection to Joe Biden to these cases? I guess not.
Yeah.
Joe Biden didn't come up in your investigation, did he?
No.
Okay. I got to keep our eye on him anyway. I don't trust him.
Yeah. Well, he was a pretty serious guy, though, according to what I was told by Exeter guy who actually worked with him. His last name is Farrell. He said that he didn't see anything weird about him either. What he thought, though, was he was really serious, that he didn't know a joke if he heard one, and he was always snacking on things, but he was just real serious. And he said he told him he should actually try to go into the FBI because he was smarter than they were. So, there weren't any real heavy-duty issues until 1979. When he was actually fired from the Auburn Police Department for being found guilty of shoplifting, and he was caught in Citrus Heights, which is in Sacramento County, shoplifting dog repellent and a hammer. And by then it was July 1979. And so he did fight it. He did go to court. He did not appeal it, but he was found guilty of shoplifting, and so he was fired from the Auburn Police Department. And that, like I said, was July 1979.
You mentioned at one point they had a really good sketch. Any suspicion on this guy?
Well, what happened a couple times is the people from Visalia PD came to Sacramento to talk to Sacramento, and they'd been listening to what was happening with the East Area Rapist, and they said, I think that we have the same guy. I think he's our guy. And Sacramento County was not hearing it at the time. They didn't listen to that. And so they came to Sacramento twice, once in 77 and once in 78. And at one point we're told they were looking for publicity, I believe it was. So they went away, and the guy was not caught. And he became, like I said, the police officer in Auburn. And the way that he did the crimes in Auburn, in my opinion, because I'm from that area, drove it all the time, was he would go to the back road, Auburn-Folsom, through the back route to East Sacramento, just drop into East Sacramento, commit his crimes, and drive back to Auburn. He lived out of that county. And would just go home, go to bed, get up, and go back to work, and do it again the next day if he felt like it. It's a 20-minute drive.
Yeah, gotcha. Now, after he got fired from the cops for the shoplifting, what did he go on to do after that?
Well, he kind of laid low. The last attack that people